I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, it's the last time I'll talk to you before the election. I'll tell you how it'll affect the real estate market and why you should go solar. This election's going to really change the tax credit you get. It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. If you've been threatened by the IRS, you're not helpless. I'm attorney Justin Clark. You have the power to fight wage garnishments and to fight levies on your account. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your life.
This is a special offer from IQ Power Solar.
Stop paying high electric bills with a solar power system from IQ Power Solar. And now it's never been easier. IQ Power Solar can give you immediate electric bill relief right now when you go solar. IQ Power Solar will reimburse you for your very next electric bill. Plus, if you're a first responder, IQ Power Solar will pay your program payment for the rest of the year. Call 407-585-1018 now or visit iqpowersolar.com.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, renter, or even looking to sell your house, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like getting multiple open houses, all from your living room, but with my attorney advice throughout the way. Any questions whatsoever during the show, I have people standing by right now to answer them. All you have to do is call the phone number right there, 407-205-0400. Maybe you want to start your house hunt this weekend. Dallas Lehman with You Have Mortgages standing by as well to get you pre-qualified today to start that house hunt for your dream home. 407-205-0400. Great show for you today, but first it's time for the opening statement. The opening statement today is brought to you by my very good friend Stephen Bader, the COO of IQ Power Solar. I just tallied up how much money I saved over the summer, $1,200. I compared my electricity bill last year to what it was this year. Throughout the summer, I saved $1,200, all because I went solar. Please give IQ Power Solar a call right now, 407-205-0400. Steve's actually going to join me later in the show because I want to tell him how much money I saved in taxes this year as well. But Steve, tell me right now how you saved me that kind of money. Live here on site with the COO of IQ Power Solar, Stephen Bader. I already had solar installed on my house. I wanted to see his crew in action against Steve. You must admit, this is the most talented crew in all of solar.
I'm pretty happy with it.
The guys are doing a great job up there, obviously, professional. Solar can have some people and some businesses that aren't so good. What separates IQ Power Solar?
Well, it's really valuable to have your own install crew instead of subcontractors, etc. So these guys work together year after year. They've done a lot of trainings together. Every time there's a new product that comes to market, they go to manufacturer trainings. We're actually a warranty center for a lot of manufacturers, which is really cool, and it distinguishes us, especially when it comes to servicing. But really, it's just about cohesiveness. These guys, they get here in the morning, they review the engineer drawings together. Sometimes they review the drawings in the office on a chalkboard environment when there's problems and stuff like that. But they lay it out and then just execute. So it's really cool when they have a lot of experience together, just like anything else.
There's something to be said for one truck, two trucks, three trucks, all with the logo on there. Everyone has the same shirt, IQ Power Solar. This is a real professional organization.
We try.
And Stephen Bader, IQ Power Solar, thanks for coming out today.
Of course.
Just in case you haven't heard lately, mortgage rates are at historic lows. In my entire career, I have never seen them dip this low. Now may be your best time to own your dream home and stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent, refinance to a lower rate to save money on your monthly mortgage payment, or pay off high-interest credit card and other debt. My name is Dallas Lehman, president of You Have Mortgage. No one knows when rates will begin to climb again, but they will and can go back up quickly. Call me today so we can tailor your historic rate and program. Our premier Under One Roof team is here to provide our very best for you.
By the time I talk to you next week, this election will be over. I know, it'll be a little bit of a celebration just that it's over no matter who wins, but it's either 4 more years of Trump or Joe Biden will be our president next week. But how will that choice impact the real estate market here in Central Florida? That's what we're going to talk about today. Also, these times, they're a little bit tumultuous. How do we protect our family when we have protests going on? What's going to happen after the election? We know there's going to be a big group of people unhappy. How do we protect our house? from these protests that are going on everywhere. We'll tell you how to best protect your kids. Really the most important thing in your life, your kids and your family who are stuck at home while you're often at work. We're going to talk about protecting them. But keep in mind also, when you see nationwide statistics on real estate, oftentimes Florida really doesn't fit into any of these projections. Florida's somewhat of a unicorn when it comes to real estate nationwide. We thrive harder, but we also sink faster than other parts of the country. Will this election make this market thrive, or will it make it sink? We're going to answer those questions, and we're going to answer them by asking real questions. Every Saturday here on You Have Real Estate, I ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Today on the show, very pleased to be welcomed by April Walker, Bonnie Warren, both with Pathway Home Team at Keller Williams Heritage. Ladies, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Let me start with you, Bonnie, because someone told me before the show that you have a special designation, I guess, when it comes to working with senior citizens. Is that correct?
I do. I have the Senior Real Estate Service designation, so that it's a little extra training for the senior market. But we really bring to the table, I think, what can't be taught in that class, and that's the compassion and empathy that transaction takes.
Before you pull out your crystal ball and tell me what's going to happen post-election, let's lay the groundwork right now. Where are we in Central Florida, at least, when it comes to the real estate market? Seller's market, buyer's market, what's going on?
Seller's market.
And
definitely a seller's market.
Yeah, so let's say I'm a buyer. I'm looking to go buy a house right now. Is it possible? Can I get a deal? I mean, what's going on? Are there multiple offers? What's really going on if I'm buying a house?
Most often there are multiple offers. It's fair now, though, for your buyers, too, with the interest rate so low. It's kind of a win-win for both sellers and buyers. We have to be a little bit more creative when we're working with buyers and go outside of maybe the MLS and research for sale by owners and do a real thorough search for those people. But it's a win-win situation, I feel.
April, they just shut the restaurants down in Chicago again yesterday. We don't have to talk about that. But obviously, we're still mid-pandemic, the worst pandemic of our lifetime here. How shocked are you that this real estate market is so hot?
I am shocked. I mean, honestly, you would think people would be afraid to leave their house a little bit to go around and, look at houses or think, right now is the time to search for a house. But, it is pretty hot. It is a great time to go out and look. Yeah, the market's limited, but interest rates are low, so it's a great time to take advantage.
Willie in Claremont chimes in. He says, "Hey, Justin, thanks for the show. I watch every Saturday. Are we in for another market collapse?" What do you think, April?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think right now we're going to stay strong at least through till maybe mid of next year. I don't think that's something we need to necessarily worry about at the moment.
Bonnie, what do you think? Market collapse ahead?
No, I don't believe that.
I don't think so. People lived through the foreclosure crisis back in 2008, 9, 10, and people think that's going to happen again. I assure you that is not happening. Could we have a correction? Of course we could. Are we going to have a foreclosure crisis? No way. And the reason is, back in 2005 and 6, at the peak of the market, they were giving mortgages away like candy. Pulse, you're breathing and you have a pen, they'll give you $1 million house, no problem. That is not the way we do business in the mortgage environment anymore, meaning the people who are now qualified for houses are actually qualified. We want to see your bank statements and your pay stubs. We're not just going to give you a mortgage like we did back in 2006. So foreclosure crisis, no. Are we going to have a little bit of a setback? We could. I mean, there are a lot of people now who are not paying their mortgage. We could have an uptick in foreclosures, yes, but a crisis, I think, absolutely not. Value-wise, Bonnie, we're sitting here today on a Saturday in, what is it, November now? Oh, yeah, November, almost November. And let's say my house is worth $300,000 right now. As we sit here together next March, what do you think my house will be worth?
Well, the averages in the last few years have been 5, 6, 7% increase, so I think we're going to continue to see that same trend.
Do you think I'll go up?
I think so.
Really? You might be right. I mean, it is quite a competitive market, seller's market, without question. If you're a buyer and you're really looking for a house, not an investment, I'm looking for a house for my family to live in, should I go in right now and offer lower than the asking price and still expect to get the house?
Probably not.
No.
If it's priced right to begin with, no, they're going to come back and ask for your best offer.
How long are we seeing, April, right now, houses stay on the market? You know, you go to MLS, you're like, 30 days on the market, 100 days on the market. What are you seeing days on market right now?
If it's priced right, within just a day or so, I mean, houses are going under contract. They don't last long at all.
Got it. Kathy in Orlando wants to know, Justin, I love watching the show on Facebook. Do you see interest rates going up soon? April, thoughts?
I don't see them going up anytime real soon, but maybe in the next few months, maybe the beginning of next year.
What do you think, Bonnie?
The same. It's a wait and see.
Right. But if you're sitting there on the sidelines right now thinking, you know what, they might go down a little bit further, I do not think I would bank on that. We're at
either.
literally 2.7, 2.8. Even if you get a mortgage at 3%, this is free money. And it's not free, but it's close to free money. If you lived during the Jimmy Carter days, this is free money. And my theory always is, if you can get a mortgage at a rate that if you had a financial advisor and they were getting you a return on that investment at that same rate and you would fire them, I think that's a good rate. And that's where we're at 2.8%. You're going to be mad at your financial advisor. It means you should be very happy with your mortgage guy and certainly buy a house. We talked last week a little bit about the simultaneous closing, about a family who wants to upsize or downsize, but they have to sell their house as well. Is that a possibility? Can I do a simultaneous closing where I sell the house I'm in now, but get into a new house?
Yes, you can.
How does it work?
Timing is of the essence.
Yeah.
But there are some finances out there that can help you do that as well. So we'd want to go to a lender and see what your options are. There are some creative ways to be able to get you to do just that.
Yeah.
And people are willing to work with each other in this market as well to make that happen.
And don't you think, April, in some ways people buy a payment per month as opposed to the actual price of the house? So if the house is $300,000, I still have to figure out what my mortgage is going to be because I know exactly how much I make per year, per month, per 2 weeks. It's really more about the payment sometimes than the actual cost of the house. So when we have interest rates so low, wouldn't you sometimes advise a buyer that, look, if you have to overpay a little bit, that can be okay because we're really looking at the payment, correct?
Correct,
And
yeah.
so when you're working with the buyer, how do you have that conversation with them? How do you help them understand that sometimes it's more payment than it is the price of the house?
We tell them, I mean, obviously they need to talk to their lender and figure out what they can afford per month. You know, don't look at the overall price necessarily. Just look at each month of what you guys can afford. You don't want to go to, a house that's way overpriced, out of your price range, just because the interest rate is low, because your payment's going to be higher.
Right.
And if your monthly assets don't let you afford to pay for that, then what we call it is house poor.
Yeah.
You don't want to be house poor every month.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to have a nice house, but you want to be able to eat as well.
Right.
You never want to make yourself house poor. I think that's really great advice. And speaking of houses, you guys brought 2 awesome houses to take us on a tour of right now, I believe. I think we're going to start in Sorrento,
Great.
if I'm not mistaken. This is Wolf's Trail. Sorrento's nice.
Sorrento
Where is
beautiful.
this in Sorrento?
Sorrento is beautiful. This is in Wolf
Whoa,
Branch
I like
Village.
That's a big house. You can play football in that yard.
It is. It's a great quarantine house.
Don't use that word ever again. We're over that word.
It's a great quarantine house. It's in Wolf Branch, off Wolf Branch Road. Your lots are well over an acre up in this area, and this is a 5-4, and with a game room. And it's a east-west exposure so that you can have your coffee watching the sunrise in the morning, and there's a beautiful view out front to have wine and watch your sunset in the evening.
It's a really nice house. What is the price point on this very big house?
The price has just been corrected to $599,900.
So I'm not great at math, but let's say you get a 2.8% interest rate. Your payment's like $2,500, something like that.
Around there.
Which to rent that house, you're looking at $4,000 or $5,000
Oh,
probably.
absolutely.
You can buy it and maybe pay $2,500, $2,700 a month to actually own that beautiful house with a huge lot.
Absolutely.
And honestly, they're really changing 46 over there. They're expanding it to where it's not that bad traffic-wise to get over there.
No.
I live in Lake Mary. You can get there in like 2 seconds, it feels like, like the Wolf Branch Road.
Absolutely. The access to this is very, very nice. You've got very convenient access to downtown Mount Dora, which is a wonderful afternoon. Coming down through Apopka, you can get to just about anything that you need to there. 429 is right around the corner in several different directions from this property. So your access is very nice. You can be from downtown Orlando to a country setting in a very short amount of time.
If you have questions or you'd like to see that house this weekend, I will connect you with these two right away at 407-205-0400. Now we're going to head to Apopka. I practiced this one before the show, of course, but I'll probably butcher it. Danesco. No?
Close, yeah, Danisco.
What she said, place in Apopka. April, tell me about this one.
Well, it's 1583 Danisco Place. It's in Lake Pleasant Cove. It's a 3.5, just over 3,300 square feet. It was built in 2013. It sits on the end of a street with a cul-de-sac. It has a lake in the backyard that you can fish with kayaks. Large fish. The present owners go back there with their kids and catch large bass, they say. It has 2 master bedrooms, one downstairs, one upstairs, which a lot of people are looking for right now. And it has 2 other rooms upstairs with a large loft area for a game room or a TV room for the kids to play. Open floor plan, great quiet community, has a playground. Great area to be by, near some shopping and quick access to the interstate and everything.
Awesome.
So.
What is the price point on this house in Apopka?
It's $354,900. And it's actually under contract at the moment, but we are accepting backup offers.
You never know what can happen.
So, yes,
it's
you
not
never
closed
know,
till it's closed. Is that right, Bonnie?
That's absolutely right.
Good deal. If you have questions about this property or you'd like to see it this weekend, again, I'll connect you with April right away, 407-205-0400. Great job, guys. It wasn't so bad, right?
Sure.
You did excellent. Both of you did great. Very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We'll have you back soon, I would hope. We're going to take a very quick break right now. When we come back, I'm going to tell you how to save money on your electricity bill, how to save money on your taxes at the end of the year, and also how to protect your family with an excellent security system. It's just ahead on You Have Real Estate.
Do you want to feature your home for free on our show? My name is Vivian Lehman with You Have Realty, and we've come up with a comprehensive marketing strategy to get your home sold quickly. Whether buying or selling, we have all the resources for your real estate transaction: builder, insurance, title, mortgage, and we might even know Justin Clark. All under one roof. Call us at 407-205-0400.
Welcome back to You Have Real Estate. Next time I talk to you, this election will be over. But what is this election going to mean to us real estate-wise? And I can tell you from my perspective, this year, tax-wise, I was getting hurt. It was ugly. I was going to have to write a very big check, but I did not have to do it. Stephen Bader with IQ Power Solar is here right now. Stephen, and you promised me and you've promised this audience for the longest time that you really can save money when it comes to taxes if you go solar. And I wasn't skeptical, but I actually saw it happen this year. I asked you for the contract again when I was doing the tax return, and I was like, thank God, because I literally was going to have to write a big check. But because I went solar, I had to write a check for nothing. I didn't have to pay anything whatsoever. However, this tax credit is going away each and every year, is it not?
It is.
And how much is it going to go down year over year?
Well, it's dropping by 4% just here in 2 months, and then it's going away at the end of next year. So it's not dissipating slowly. It's going to be gone quite deliberately.
So would it benefit me as we sit here now, late October, early November, to get solar before the end of the year?
Absolutely.
How much? How much is that going to save me?
4%. I mean, because it's a 26% dollar for dollar tax credit now, and then it goes down to 22%. But the real issue is, when the tax credit has 1 year left, the market changes a little bit, and a lot of people start engaging their exit strategy, and that changes the entire nature of the distributorship of solar and renewables, and the price actually goes up by probably 15%. So you might only lose a 4% tax credit opportunity, but there's a very real price increase because of demand that's immediate without the infrastructure there to support that.
It was one thing for me to talk about it with you on TV all the time. It was another thing to actually see it come into handy. Thank you very much for allowing me to go solar. And by the way, many of you have asked me, do you really have solar, Justin, or are you just talking to this guy? Phil, run my house right now. We actually have video of my house, drone footage of my house. It's not that nice of a house. No, it's not. It's an average house.
It's pretty cool.
But the solar on my house, this is literally my house. This is literally the solar that IQ Power Solar put on my house. And Steve, I just tallied it up. June, July, August, September, I saved $1,200 for my electricity bill as compared to last year. And doing so, though, it's not like we turned up our AC. It's not like I came home yelling at the kids, I want it to be 75 here. We just lived status quo. If anything, I said, you know what, if you're a little warm, turn it down to 68. And you really did benefit me so much in my pocketbook. Is this normal?
Well, I think the main focus point should be that you were paying for it anyway. It's not like you took on an expense with a hope that maybe it worked. It's like, look, the alternative is, no, I won't pay, $275 for a solar payment that goes away. I'll just pay, $500 for my electric bill. It doesn't make any sense. You're paying for it anyway. You're already paying taxes. If it's not like you're going to you're paying taxes. It gets surrendered back to you, or they keep it if you don't get solar. So it's every day. We do it every day.
Please call IQ Power Solar right now. Steve will come out to your house. It costs nothing at all to come out and do a full analysis, an energy efficiency analysis for you at 407-205-0400. I also hear about these, what do you call it, the people who dig dungeons and things because they're scared the world's going to end and have cans of tuna in their basement. These people who are really scared of the world ending. I'm shocked that people like that aren't more apt to go solar, because when you go solar, you're somewhat self-sufficient, Steve.
Well, people make decisions for all different reasons, and whether it's a religious group or a fear. I mean, sometimes people don't go solar because, and a lot of people are, but man, at the end of the day, solar's not a good decision because if the world's ending, that that's going to give you power. Solar's a good decision economically. It's an obvious increase in your home value, and that's not negotiable. If people don't understand that their opinions are not relevant. It's a real home value increase, right? There's data that's very indicative of that. There's just not data compared to the amount of houses that are sold because we've penetrated 2 or 3% of the market, But man, people do go solar because they want to control and have some independence to the grid. But I don't think that people that are going to live underground, obviously, if they know how solar works, there's no solar underground. So
okay, maybe I'm talking about two different people, but you don't understand. We've been dealing with these electrical grids and these power companies that have ruled our lives since we were born. It's the same type of person that says, you know what, I don't have to live this way. I don't have to pay just whatever you're saying that I have to pay every single month. And if I don't pay you, by the way, I don't have lights in my house. It's the same type of person. I think the word is independence. Why not be energy independent? I'm not saying you got to build a bunker and buy tuna cans. That's not exactly what I mean, but it's the same type of person.
Well, there's an irony to what you're saying right now, because this is this whole coronavirus thing. It's something that couldn't really have been measured or predicted. People can say you should have been able to predict it. You can't be prepared for this, right? You can't know this is going to happen. But what is wild is a lot of times when there's a state of emergency, it affects manpower, or it affects a hurricane, or hey, we need people to get power restored, or we need people to police a certain area. It's not too often, and you can go back in our history, where it creates a demand for the grid that the infrastructure was not prepared for. So when you send everyone home and you send kids home and parents have to stay home, if you can't squeeze blood from a rock, when the grid has given you all that it can, that's it. So the only way to combat that is spiked taxation. It's manipulated peak hour time. So people's bills are going up $150 on a $300 bill, and they don't know why. And believe it or not, the energy company does not have to explain themselves. When they have the right to operate within the confines of a state of emergency, they're private companies. You don't have rights they're a service. So believe it or not, they don't owe you anything. You have no rights with the power company. They're a service. You're allowed to call them and say, hey, I no longer want to use you. that's why that's the only reason they're not a monopoly, right? So to think that you have rights or that someone's going to come and protect you from the power company is erroneous.
Steve, let me introduce you to a good friend of mine, Tom Christ, by the way. He's with Home Security Alarm Experts. They're an authorized ADT dealer. Tell Tom and I why now is the time to go solar, not next year or not 2 or 3 years from now.
Well, you want to seize the tax credit, right? You want to captivate, the industry right before the prices go up because, supply and demand is changing. And every dollar you spend on your electric bill between now and tomorrow is just wasted money.
Yeah, exactly. Call IQ Power Solar right now, please, at 407-205-0400. They're the best in the business. There's no doubt about it, best in the business. The solar panels on my house, IQ Power Solar, I promise you that. Tom Christ, Home Security Alarm Experts, you installed a security system on my house. I got the app and everything now. It's great. I can open the door. I'm not locked out anymore at night. Sometimes if I come home late, I get locked out, Steve. We won't talk about that on TV. It can't happen to me anymore. I live in a fairly safe neighborhood, I would say. Big neighborhood, though. They were planning protests. The protests were starting at the Winn-Dixie outside the gate of my neighborhood. Why do we need home security, even in a nice neighborhood?
One is that in gated communities, we don't really know how many people are in and out of the community, but there are housekeepers and lawn maintenance people and all different kinds of people. So they did a study a few years ago back in Broward County where there's like 95 gated communities, and there's thousands of people a day that come through them. So one, you don't know who's in your neighborhood. And two, I think that just the sense of peace of mind, knowing that you and your family, there's someone that you can call if you need help.
Yeah, when you pull up in my driveway now, it literally has a big ADT sign in the driveway, but then this big camera with 2 red lights staring at people. I think if someone's looking for a plasma to steal, they're probably going to go to my neighbor's house, not mine. Just that awesome camera and the ADT sign alone. But also, I feel great about having the carbon monoxide, smoke detectors, all of that now right on your app because, carbon monoxide is a silent killer.
Right, yeah. So fire protection is, kind of an underrated, but in terms of loss, the insurance companies, it's about 3 times higher fire, damage from fire versus burglary. Yep. Not trying to not sell the burglary because it's important, but fire protection for you and your family is awesome.
A lot of people like to go to the Costco now and buy the little Ring doorbell in 30 seconds. What separates you from just going to buy the little round doorbell that I attach to the front door?
Well, a couple things. One, so all of our technology is encrypted, right? So you've seen these stories in the news about people, breaking into the cameras or watching video from your home. So all of our technology is encrypted. The other thing is that we're kind of, I call it do it yourself or do it together. The do it together model, you have a lifetime warranty on the parts and labor. So if something were to go wrong with the box that you buy from Costco, what do you do with that? You mail it back to them so you don't have it for that time. With us, you call us, we come out, you've got a lifetime warranty. If we need to replace it, we replace it, and you've got someone that can come out and service it and be support for you so that you know how to use it.
Yeah, I love my security system. Thanks a lot, Tom. I really appreciate you guys coming over. It was great. Great service too. HomesecurityAlarmExperts.com for Tom, or give us a call 407-205-0400. Stephen Bader, as always, buddy, thank you. I had not calculated how much you would save me, but literally I'm about $12,500. Because I went solar, it saved me $12,500 in taxes and on my electricity bill. And we're still counting.
It's only been a year.
It hasn't even been a year. It's crazy, man. Keep up the good work over at IQ Power Solar, please. If you have any questions whatsoever for Stephen Bader, IQ Power Solar, he'll come out for free. Call us at that very same phone number. Most importantly, thank you for joining us here today on television. You're looking to sell your home, we'll feature it right here on TV. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and I'll see you next week post-election on You Have Real Estate.